Welcome to episode 283 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Law Sky. It's August 10, 1975. Caracas, Estadio Olímpico. East Germany against Boavista of Portugal. Final of the Pequeña Copa del Mundo, the Little World Cup. In the 11th minute, Jürgen Pomerenko scores from the penalty spot. In the 43rd minute, Joachim Streich makes it 2. Boavista pull one back late through Salvador, but East Germany hold. So it ends East Germany 2, Boavista 1. And with that, a strange old tournament quietly reaches its end. The last Pequeña Copa del Mundo, won not by a club, but by a national selection from the German Democratic Republic. But how did we get here? Start with the idea. Before the European Cup, before the Copa Libertadores, before the Intercontinental Cup becomes regular, before the Club World Cup, football already wants the world of clubs to exist. We talked about that 2 weeks ago in episode 264 with Palmeiras in the 1951 Copa Rio. Brazil had the Maracanã, Mario Filho, Stanley Rouse and Ottorino Barassi, Jules Rimet in the background, and Palmeiras beating Juventus in the first series Intercontinental Club tournament. Caracas is part of the same instinct. Different city, different money, different machinery, but the same question. What if the best clubs from Europe and South America meet in one place? The Pequeña Copa del Mundo begins in Venezuela in 1952. It is not a FIFA tournament, not a confederation tournament. It is an invitational event organized by Venezuelan private enterprise, often linked to the company Venezuela Deportiva and to the Spanish Basque businessman Damián Gaubeka, with Venezuelan Football Federation support in the background. And that matters. This is not a tidy institutional family tree. This is football before the institutions have caught up. Promoters, air tickets, appearance money, stadiums, political prestige, a capital city trying to place itself on the football map. Caracas wants the world to come. And in the 1950s, it often does. Real Madrid win the first edition in 1952, Millonarios in 53, Corinthians win another 53 tournament, Sao Paulo win in 55, Real Madrid again in 56, and Barcelona in 57. These are not random names. Real Madrid, Millonarios, Barcelona, Corinthians, Sao Paulo, clubs that either already mattered enormously or soon would. But the problem is obvious. The Pequeña is filling a gap. Once official competitions arrive, the gap shrinks. The European Cup begins in 1955, the Copa Libertadores in 1960, the Intercontinental Cup also in 60. So suddenly the question, who is the best club across continents, has a more formal answer. Not always a perfect answer, but a more official one. So the Pequeña loses status. After 1956, it pauses. It returns in the 1960s, but under different names and formats. Taza Ciudad de Caracas and other trophies, other invited fields, sometimes with disputed links to the original series. Sao Paulo win in 63, Benfica in 65, Valencia in 66, Athletic Bilbao in 67, Spartak Trnava in 69, and Vitória Setúbal in 70. And then silence again, 1971 to 74, nothing. And then one last revival in 1975. By now the old dream is almost ghostly. 4 teams, short format, still Caracas, Boavista of Portugal, Real Zaragoza of Spain, Rosario Central of Argentina, and East Germany. Not an East German club, the East German national selection. And that oddity tells us everything. In the 1950s, the Pequeña wants to crown the club world. In 1975, it is flexible enough, or loose enough, to invite a state amateur national team into a club tournament. But East Germany are not tourists. They are a serious side. We talked about Georg Buschner in episode 104, the coach behind the curtain, a defender turned academic turned national coach. Sports science, discipline, structure, state amateurism, Stasi shadows. In the GDR, players are officially amateurs, workers, soldiers, students, employees of state institutions. But in practice, they are full-time athletes inside a planned sports machine. And Olympic football is the perfect theater for that system. Western professionals are restricted. Eastern Bloc amateurs are effectively the real national teams. We saw that with Hungary in episode 275, and East Germany used the same Cold War logic. By 1975, the football decade is already impressive. Olympic bronze in Munich in 1972, FC Magdeburg win the Cup Winners' Cup in 1974. East Germany beat West Germany 1-0 in Hamburg at the 1974 World Cup. Sparwasser, the one match everybody remembers. And now Buschner is building toward Montreal 1976. So the summer of 1975 is not a holiday. It is a test, a controlled overseas stress test. Canada is hosting the next Olympics. The United States is the ultimate capitalist stage. Mexico supplies strong opposition and crowds. Then Venezuela provides the tournament finish. 7 matches, 12 days, almost 39 hours of travel, about 125,000 spectators across the tour. The schedule is brutal. Canada 0, East Germany 3 in Toronto. Canada 1, East Germany 7 in Ottawa. Then 3 matches against Mexican selections. East Germany win 3-2 in San Francisco, win 1-0 in Los Angeles, then lose 1-0 in Monterrey. The records are a little awkward. The Canadian matches count one way in East German records and not always the same way in Canadian records. The Mexico games are treated differently by different associations too. That's very 1975. Cold War football, representative teams, Olympic teams, selections, federation politics, and paperwork that refuses to behave. Then Caracas. August 9. East Germany play Rosario Central. 5th minute. Lothar Kubioweit scores. East Germany win 1-0. In the other semi-final, Boavista draw 0-0 with Real Zaragoza, then win 5-4 on penalties. So the final is set. East Germany against Boavista. August 10, on this day in 1975. Krøy in goal, Dörner, Weisse, Kubioweit, Lauk, Pomerenke, Streich, Hoffmann. A very serious GDR spine. Pomerenke scores from the spot, and Streich scores before halftime. Boavista fight back late, but East Germany win 2-1, and the last Pequeña Copa del Mundo belongs to East Germany. But so what? This is a tiny trophy inside a large arc. Nobody should pretend the Pequeña in 1975 equals the European Cup, the Libertadores, or the Intercontinental Cup. By then, it surely doesn't. Its best day were long gone. But that is exactly why it's interesting, because the last winner of this little World Cup is not Real Madrid, Barcelona, Millonarios, or Palmeiras. It's East Germany, a country that no longer exists, a national team entering a club tournament because the old boundaries of the Pequeña have become soft. It is like the tournament's obituary writes itself. The club world had grown up. The Pequeña no longer knew quite what it was. For East Germany, the tour matters because it sits between Hamburg and Montreal. The 1974 World Cup gives East Germany its most remembered football moment. The 1976 Olympics give it its only major football title. And Caracas sits there on the road right between them. Did the Pequeña single-handedly build the Olympic gold team? No, but it helped sharpen the squad. The same pool keeps returning. Krøy in goal, Dörner, Weisse, Kubioweit, Lauk, Pomerenke, Streich, Hoffmann, Branch, Seguin, and Vogel. This is not a loose all-star group. It is the Buschner machine traveling, absorbing pressure, rotating parts, and learning who can function away from home. That matters because the autumn comes quickly. In Olympic qualification, East Germany win their qualifying group ahead of Czechoslovakia, Austria, and Greece. They qualify for Montreal, and at the same time, they're also playing European Championship qualifiers and win 2-1 away to Belgium, and then beat France 2-1 in Leipzig. They don't reach the Euro 1976 finals, but those results show the level. This is a team that can travel, defend, organize, and punch above its international weight. 1976 becomes the summit. In Montreal, East Germany draw 0-0 with Brazil, beat Spain 1-0, then beat France 4-0 in the quarterfinal, and Soviet Union 2-1 in the semifinal. Then comes Poland, who they beat 3-1 in the final. Olympic gold. That is East Germany's only major football title. And when you place it beside 1972 bronze, 1974 Hamburg, Magdeburg's 74 European trophy, Caracas 75, and the 1980 Olympic silver, the point is clear. The 1970s are East German football's golden decade. Not beautiful in the romantic sense, surely not free, and not clean either, but a system with surveillance, pressure, and ideology inside it. But effective, disciplined, hard to beat, and at its peak, genuinely world-class in the spaces the Cold War structure made available. The Pequeña's end tells us how football institutions win. In the beginning, private promoters can invent a little World Cup because official football has not yet built the product. By 1975, official football has swallowed the space. Europe has the European Cup. South America has the Libertadores. The two continents have the Intercontinental Cup. National teams have the World Cup, Olympics, Euros, Copa America. The calendar is crowded. The prestige is elsewhere. And when a tournament relies on invitation, local money, travel enthusiasm, and flexible criteria, it becomes fragile. Caracas still hosts later international tournaments, but the Pequeña Copa del Mundo, as a name and idea, ends here, with an East German selection beating Boavista, with a Cold War dream lifting the last remnant of a 1950s club world dream. Before we go, 3 things to take away from August 10, 1975. First, the Pequeña Copa del Mundo was one of football's early attempts to imagine a world of clubs before the official structures existed. In that sense, it belongs beside Copa Rio in the prehistory of global club football. Second, by 1975, the tournament had changed completely. Its final edition mixed clubs and a national selection, showing both its flexibility and its decline. And third, East Germany's win in Caracas sits inside the country's golden decade. Olympic bronze, Hamburg 1974, Magdeburg's European trophy, the Pequeña, and then Olympic gold in 1976. On this day in 1975, East Germany beat Boavista 2-1 in Caracas. Pomerenke scored, Streich scored. East Germany won the last Pequeña Copa del Mundo, and one old version of the club world dream disappeared into history. That is all for episode 283 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Lost Guy. I'm grateful for your support and ideas. Some of the emails I get tell me that I'm hitting a nerve with this show. So if you hit the subscribe button, rate OTD 5 stars, or share it with all your friends, we can get even more ideas for future episodes. Thank you for helping the show get better. Tomorrow, go to August 11, 1999, when a solar eclipse rescheduled a football match. See you then.